Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Hunterman, and this is Euro Truck Simulator 2. And, we are doing another heavy cargo mission, and spoilers, I'm currently talking about the Assassin's Creed series. Not Ragnarok, so if you're up here, the most recent game that's just come out, I haven't played it, so I can't spoilers. But also, I believe not Odyssey, because Improvision Entertainment has a 3-year spoiler rule, not talking about stuff that's gone on in the last 3 years, and I've just tried to be courteous anyway with spoilers, but this is a discussion that came up on stream. Oh, wow. This is a discussion that came up on stream. Wait, this is just a heavy cargo... Oh, no, whoa. I think I'm sliding backwards. Okay. But this is a discussion that previously came up on stream, and so I've made myself like a list, of what games are the best games in the Assassin's Creed series, and why I think so, and I'm starting from the lower portion of the list. All of this is subject to change, but I am going to be talking about some of the plot events that happen throughout those games, and why I think those items are relevant to making them worse. I'm also going to be talking about gameplay mechanics, all kinds of stuff. So if you don't want to hear that stuff, you might consider moving to the next episode if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching live, feel free to chat me up and be like, Hunterman, I don't want to hear this right now. And then I'll stop. But just in case, continuing where I last left off, talking about Assassin's Creed, yeah, spoilers. So we're talking about currently the Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy, which is the games of 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. And the game I am putting at the very bottom of the list as the worst overall Assassin's Creed game is Assassin's Creed Revelations. I've already talked a little bit about missing out on the characters, but it goes a lot further than that, right? Whoa, hold on. I didn't realize how freaking wide I am. This thing is super wide. I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain lanes with this thing. Okay, I'm still playing this game though, so we're going to still require a little bit of concentration sometimes. But, okay. So, first of all, gut the story. There's nothing to do in the story. Ezio's story effectively ends at the end of Assassin's Creed 2. We unend it at the beginning of Brotherhood, and then we don't quite exactly finish off what we were doing by the time we get to the end of Brotherhood. Worse yet, the modern day stuff that has to do with Desmond Miles, the ancestor that's going to get the message from Ezio Auditore, or rather from the ones who came before, through Ezio Auditore to him, that storyline also ends at the end of 2, but then we unend it to try and pass a further message on to Desmond, and then we end the game on a cliffhanger in which Desmond stabs someone in a trance that you have to do because you're the one in control of the analog stick and it's gonna make you do it. And this is a thing that happens at the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and sets you up to have Desmond be in a freaking coma in Assassin's Creed Revelations. And part of the reason that's so immensely relevant is because when talking about stories, we do have to actually count the present day stuff. And all of the characters from the present day still somewhat exist in Revelations, but they don't get almost any screen time because we've put the main character into a coma and he's got almost no one to talk to. I say almost no one to talk to because let's talk about a second aspect of Assassin's Creed Revelations, which is a major problem. It actually includes the first in the series, Shark Jump. I don't know if you guys know what a shark jump is, so I'll quickly establish. Shark jumping is a term that exists primarily because of an episode of a television show called Happy Days. The main character, or rather not the main character, I shouldn't say, but a character who's come to prominence in the show, who goes by The Fonz, I'm so worried about hitting these little mile markers on the side of the road. Am I actually taller than them? No, I don't think I am. But it certainly looks like I'm going to hit them. He is known for, like, doing extreme stuff, jumping things on his bike, what have you, and yes, you guessed it, the shark jump in question is an episode in which the Fonz is wearing his leather jacket, riding his bike, and he goes off a ramp and jumps over a shark in the episode. And a lot of people who were watching at the time were like, what the fuck is this? I can't watch this show anymore. It's gone too far. It doesn't make any sense. So the shark jump is the name for when a series that you're watching hits a particular threshold of, we can call it silly, we can call it idiocy, that makes you want to, like, tune out. And so, talking about an event that happens in Assassin's Creed Revelations, again, requires me to talk about stuff that's happened most specifically throughout the course of Assassin's Creed 1, in the real-world stuff, but very specifically the ending. So, Desmond Miles, who is the main character of the present day, and the character who you're kind of insert for, I guess I'll turn on my windshield wipers. This is going to be a long one, and it looks like the sun's going to go down again while we're driving. Make sure my lights are on. He is referred to by the villains in the present day, who are known as Abstergo, as Subject 17, implying, of course, that before him were 16 prior subjects. The previous subject to him was an assassin, who had a lot of related genetic material to Desmond, but not all the genetic material that you'd need to be able to get into the Animus. Animus is a whole thing about going into genetic memory, and one of the things about Desmond Miles is that he's this very unique genetic focal point. As a person, he's not that important, but as a house of all these genetic memories that have been passed down through the ages, Desmond comprises a lot of important information from a lot of different groups of people, and that's why Desmond's important. I kind of like that, but here's the deal. The guy just before him went crazy in the Animus. One of the things that can happen if you spend way too much time in the Animus is you can start getting what's referred to as a bleed-over effect, where events and memories from your past start being stuck with you in the present, and you start having a hard time telling the difference between present day and past. And one of my favorite moments of this is the beginning of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, in which Desmond is leading the group of characters into the villa that Ezio Auditore had set up in the past, and in so doing, he experiences an escape sequence vicariously of Ezio Auditore as he is fleeing the villa, and I believe trying to get his sister out. I don't remember which character's with Ezio for this event, but basically you're experiencing two events simultaneously. You're experiencing Desmond getting into the villa, and you're experiencing you're experiencing Desmond getting into the villa, and you're experiencing Ezio getting out of the villa. And it's really cool. The white Animus effect of, like, you're seeing this thing and having to explain to people what's happening to you, because part of Desmond going into the memories, at least as the start of Assassin's Creed 2, is to get him experience being cooler, better assassins than he is, so he can be a cooler, better assassin. And that all has to do with Subject 16. Subject 16 was really close to the genetic material that Desmond had, so they were Abstergo's best chance at the time for being able to get the information that they were looking for from people's memories. So what they did was they just kept shoving Subject 16 into the Animus over and over again. Over and over again. Like, way past you could make an excuse for healthy. Like, it just was not good for him, and it basically killed him. So, in Assassin's Creed Revelations, the third game of the trilogy of the second game. I think I've lost some of my RPMs. There we go. They don't tend to complain. They just want me to keep distance, so it's fine. Let me get back up to speed if I can. Look out for these mile markers. Look out for these road signs. This is a giant machine I'm transporting. It's pretty cool. Okay. Desmond Miles in Assassin's Creed Revelations meets Subject 16. Now, this by itself is not exactly a shark jump. It's interesting because it's framed as basically his residual memories basically being logged into the Animus that he's using are there, and that you can interact with basically the Animus reverse engineering, cobbling together what is left of Subject 16's memories. But here's a couple of things. One, Desmond is not in the Animus that Subject 16 used. Okay? So that doesn't make any sense. Two, Subject 16 is said in the plot to have basically rewired the Animus so that it could support his memories so that he could leave a message for whoever followed him. And I have to call bullshit because the timetable for him to do this is only at most a couple of months long. I think it's actually a couple of weeks long, if you read the email logs, if I remember correctly, from Subject 16. So, I'm supposed to expect that this assassin, who, like Desmond, is otherwise not special besides being an assassin, who has this genetic material, got into this device, he didn't know how it worked, figured it out, backed himself up on its hard drive or some shit, and it constituted him as a recreation. I was certain I was going to hit that turkey sign. Okay, I think it was turkey. Enough so that he appears as a basically living, breathing human being inside of the experience Desmond's having, so that he can carry on full conversations with him and try and pass on information to him. What? I mean, not a bad concept on paper, but the way the game executes it really comes across as super flimsy. Not like some of the cool shit that actually comes up in later games in the series, for how they do unique takes on how the memory situation and time shenanigans works. But this ain't that. Like, this is not working for that. Okay, we have a situation in the game right now. 2-lane roads of shenanigans. We still have 179 kilometers left to go. And now we got guardrails happening, and vehicles I'm trying to pass on the right side of the road. I'm gonna slam into somebody. I'm certain it's gonna happen. I'm glad I got my no damage achievements out of the way. Okay. So, that for me is Shark Jump. Like, that took me out of the experience. That didn't make any sense. But don't worry, it gets worse. In Assassin's Creed Revelations, you can hit these Animus fragments. I believe, hold on. I believe there are glitches in the Animus, and if you collect these as some of the collectibles, you can unlock the ability to go through some memories that basically Desmond has locked away himself and is purposely trying to forget. And these are supposed to be revelations, thus the subtitle of the game. They're supposed to be important things to Desmond's existence that he's forgotten about or not thought about or what have you. And it really comes in as a, I don't know how this is going to work. This is going to hit, right? No, I made it. Okay. But here's the deal. These are done in really crappy first-person platforming excursions inside of a game series that has been exclusively third-person, and in which you did not have to do, you know, first-person platforming. I don't know how many first-person games you played, but it is an old understanding that the majority of first-person games are very not good about platforming. And Revelations is no different, but also it's not really threatening, it's not really hard. I think it's got like some timing or you get crushed type situations, but you always flash back and you don't like have any continual damage type situation. But here's the deal. All of the information that is revealed to you in these Revelations is shit that if you have been paying attention to the first 3 games of the series, has shown up in emails, has been incidental dialogue, has been conversation between characters. There is, to the best of my recollection, nothing that is revealed in the Revelations of the titular Assassin's Creed Revelations that, if you've been paying attention in the game series up to this point, hasn't already been known to you. So it's wasting your time. So what have you got? You've got basically no characters come back. A handful. Out of like a dozen plus characters. Like a couple of characters come back. You've got absolutely throwaway first-person platforming segments that are supposed to reveal information to you that don't. And I'm going a little fast down this hill. And once again, you're making a game that didn't need to happen in the first place. Okay, so what happens in the game, story-wise? Okay, I'm just focusing on story for the moment. We're not... I can throw... You know what, let's do gameplay for a second. Gameplay's easy. How does the game play? It's... Instead of having like 2 or 3 locations, it has basically 1 location, and then a secondary a secondary location that shows up for like 1 chapter. That's not as big, but basically you've got 1 city in the game. So you have less city space to deal with. It is a slightly bigger amount of city, but it's 1 city. So you've got that. Innovation-wise, I don't remember if this is the game that has bombs in it. I think Brotherhood had bombs in it. I'm pretty sure Brotherhood had bombs in it. But what I remember most of all is that there's this new leaping mechanic in which Ezio can jump up high and grab with a hook to pull himself up a further leap. And, okay, here is, as they say, the this about that. The this about that is that Ezio in the game is gray hair, and he's got the black garb of a master assassin in the Brotherhood. He's old. So you're introducing a mechanic that feels kind of like every time in a Grand Theft Auto, or Watch Dogs 2, in which you're doing something in character that feels like it doesn't fit with the story. And Ezio's age, 1, this upgrade isn't great, but 2, oh, I actually have trailer damage. Bad things are happening. 1 second, bad things are happening. I forgot what I was driving. I was not thinking about the situation. How bad is this? Trailer damage. Well, I already got the achievement for not having trailer damage, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. I apologize for anybody who's watching for the gameplay. 1 second, let me get back on the highway, where I've got lots of room. I can see my destination marker way over there. Okay. So it feels a little bit out of place, and it's basically the only thing that gets added to his repertoire is this upward launching jump that's an extra jump that lets him leap extra high. And again, it feels a little bit out of place when Ezio's getting up in years. I think he's in his 50s or his 60s? So, you know what? Related to that, might as well say it. The premise of Assassin's Creed's genetic memory stuff when it first started was one thing that some people didn't put a lot of thought into, and it comes out in the story stuff. So, basically, you were able to go into the genetic memory of your ancestors as they have had any one of their memories that they've passed on through genetics to you, all make up you, and basically you're this bundle of memories. And some of the stuff is like pretty cool, or some of it's boring. And Abstergo, the big evil corporation, has been using this data that they've compiled from a bunch of different people to try and find these things called Pieces of Eden. Basically, technology left over from the ones who came before, the big ancient civilization, whose actual name came up in later games, and I'm forgetting it. The Isu? I think they're the Isu. I'm trying to remember what they're called. But, point being, that's how it works. So let me ask you this. Here's another one of the kind of, sort of, but not exactly shark jumpy, but it implies things about the character that maybe aren't implied through the normal course of the story. In order for you to be experiencing Ezio's life in the course of Revelations at this old age, he has to father a child. Now that happens, sure, but again, it can imply things about a character. Okay, we're popping into third person for this. Also, probably gonna slow the hell down. How are you supposed to do this? Okay, like that, I guess. Nope, not like that. Trailer damage.
Get ready to turn left.
Now I gotta get ready to turn left. How are you supposed to do this without taking trailer damage? On the upside, at least I have the right of way, so I don't have to stop at the stoplight. Okay. We lived. We lived to coop another day. Okay. But again, maybe not a shark jump for you, but just consider it. He's like 50, 60 years old, and in order for you to be playing out the events of his life at this point, he still has to father a child who lives, and 8 trailer damage. What the fuck? What, I can't tell what did I think I binding boxed. I don't know what I hit. Yes, I am moving to the escort. The escort should have waited its ass. Alright. I don't want to transport one of these again. This is a whole situation that's happening. Okay. But yes, so basically Ezio has to be a creepy old man. I believe he is, in the story, substantially older than the lady he hooks up with. But I mean, again, that's not like that never happened. And also kind of creepy old man vibes. But it doesn't... I don't know. Ezio's characterization is actually the best part of that game. But just the implication of that is kind of a whole thing. And... I think I can probably stop talking about Assassin's Creed Revelations. I hit the high points, right? The shark jumping, the missing characters, the weird characterization of Ezio, the... just what's going on with Subject 16, the weird first-person platforming. Oh, I'm about to get credit for Nuremberg. That'll be good. Just overall, not per story, Not per gameplay, not all these pieces, but like overall, in my opinion, the worst game in the series. So that's it. We covered the first and the bottommost game on the list.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Lane changing maneuver. Oh, you meant that lane. Yeah, I can't really do that. I don't know why you'd think I could. Okay, I don't appear to have hung up on anything. I'm gonna hit that I'm gonna hit that speed limit sign. Yoink. Okay. I'm gonna have to actually check the list in a second. Unless I can think of anything else more to say about Revelations, but like, yeah, I think I've traded in 5 games ever, and it was one of them. And 2 of those games I just traded in because they were in a series that kept improving, and I didn't think I was going to be getting back to the older games in the series.
And then turn left.
It was a racing game. I traded in Dirt 1 and 2 to pick up Dirt 3. And in retrospect, I do kind of regret it. I probably would have popped those games in from time to time, but I didn't really think I would. Each of the Dirt games that I picked up, I have basically played really solid for, you know, a week to 3 weeks and had a good time, and then not really gone back to.
Turn left.
I think I still nicked something just then. Hold on. You mean here, don't you? You do mean here. How does this... How am I supposed to not knock over this sign? You know what? We're knocking over this sign.
It was a nice ride.
That sign had it coming. I think it had it coming. Yeah, that sign's down over there. Well, this was an interesting experience. We will come back next time with a different game in the Assassin's Creed series. T for decoupling. Achievement Big Brother. And the bigger the better, 4 of 11. The bigger the better, I believe, is multiple large things. Big Brother is complete the delivery to haul the truck chassis. Oh, that was a special type of delivery. Yep, damage penalty. Ouch. These things happen. Alright, so for anybody who is watching later on YouTube, I thank you for watching. This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2. I have been Huntermun, and I will see you in the future.